We are live. And why the hell not? The President of the United States is going to do his thing. He's going to do his kind of a modified State of the Union address, I guess. I don't know what we're going to call it. I guess we're just going to call it an address to the nation from the Oval Office. He wants to counteract all of the left-wing media's garbage over the course of the last 11 months, trying to convince everybody that the sky is falling, the economy is crumbling, it is shrinking, nobody's going to be able to survive in 2026. He's going to do all of that, or excuse me, they're doing all of that nonsense, and he wants to say, take it and shove it, because we know what's really going on, and he wants the American people to know from his own mouth what exactly is going on. So that's what this is all about tonight. So welcome. We're going to call this a strictly speaking unfiltered live chat covering the President's State of the Union address. That's what this is all about. So appreciate you being with us. We're going to kind of let the funk fade just a little bit here, but we want to give you an opportunity to be heard today. And I guess to be heard tonight, I guess I should maybe to phrase that another way is we want to be able to essentially read what you have to say. So you'll be heard that way. I'm going to read it on the air, and anybody or on the internet, I guess, and anybody wants to jump in the chat, that's what we're here for. So let me pop into it right now. And as everybody who's been listening to the show since it got started probably realizes. And are we live? Yeah, we are live. Okay. Everybody probably realizes I'm still very new at trying to navigate doing a live show while also reading the chat. So I'm going to be a little bit behind on that, but I'm going to try to do this, and we'll pause. As time goes on here, we'll pause and allow us to catch up on what the president is saying. We may have to pause him and then kind of be just a little bit lagging behind so that we can offer commentary on some of the things that he is talking about right now. So right now they're focused in on the White House at the Oval Office. This is supposed to start right now. Look at that. There he is. Almost right on cue here. So let's go ahead and join the President of the United States live and the Oval Office not State of the Union, but national address. Here we go.
Millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe, but now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. Wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible.
I got to pause it here for just a second because I can't catch up. I can't catch my breath, and I'm not even freaking talking. Is my dude just going, it's like he just got a B12 shot. I mean, seriously, he is just going so rapid fire and on fire with every single thing that he's saying right now. He's not even doing the weave. You know, what he calls the weave, where he kind of, meanders in and out of different subjects and trying to get people off track and go into another one and then come back. And he's not even doing the weave. It's just boom, 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 boom. It's kind of awesome. Everything I'm hearing is everything he said he was going to do in 2024. When he ran for this office, now he's saying in 11 months, we've done everything we said we were going to do, and we're still getting started. So keep the chats coming. If you're not in the chat yet, if you're watching, but you're not in the chat room, please jump in. I want to read and see what everybody has to say. Let's go.
There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way,
can I just say for 1 second how badass that is? Honestly, $1,776 per soldier, all because of tariff revenues generated. That is outstanding. That is America first. That is American strength, American service, American military, American security. That is America first. This is what I voted for, and I didn't even know it was coming.
We now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward, and I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up. but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices. And
all right, I want to catch our breath here for just a second. We're going to see and listen to it all. I promise you. We're not, and I know it's going live on Fox or wherever it is else that you're watching it, but I want to pause it for a second here. We got a lot of people in the chat room right now talking about this, and you may see on your screen, I've got my friend Brian Engelman, who is a tremendous American. He runs the New American Media. He's hopping in to chat with us today. I've been a guest on his show. Brian, he one subject to the next. It's like he's in a sprint, and I've never seen him this wired before. No weave, even in a State of the Union addresses. It's like slow and methodical and back and forth and taking time out to embellish everything. He is just on pace right now. What are you thinking?
I love in the comments section, Bob. It's from the incorrect, politically incorrect mechanic. He's like, my boy must have just smashed a 6-pack of Diet Coke or something because he is going. I'm expecting him to finish the whole line, finish the whole speech, and go. And by the way, Elon told me we're paying by the minute, which is why I kept it moving. I avoided the weave. I'm loving this. $1,776 for the troops. It's another comment from him. He said he's a marketing genius. Like you can't you just saw it in your mind's eye. 1776 going to the troops. It's perfect. And hammering that it's the Unaffordable Care Act. The Democrats did that. He's got to bypass the lying legacy media. Go directly to the people. And if he goes fast enough, he could do this once a week, once a month. Keep it going. I'm loving it.
No question. Yeah, let's catch back up now. He's not stopping, so we got to catch up.
They drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve. someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation has stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Holy
Right, that was President Trump
freaking
live from
how. I have never, ever seen anything quite like that. And what time is it? It's 23 minutes after. I think he started pretty damn close to on time. So he was around maybe 9:01, maybe 9:02. So it was a 21, maybe 22-minute speech. I'm trying to get the screen back to normal now. That was just a tour de force. And I'm scrambling over here to try to pull it up so that I can play for you what I want to play for you, which was requested in the chat by the politically incorrect mechanic, but which I was unable to pull up on the computer in time. So I'm gonna have to play it off of the iPad because it is absolutely deserved. And here we go. Is it gonna play? Hold on, it might even be on silent. Yeah, let's try it again now. Here we go. That's weak sauce. It's not loud enough. I wanted to really scream, "Can you dig it?" So, wow. If you just tuned in to this thinking you're going to, be in for an hour-long Donald Trump speech, my friend Brian Engelman is on with this as well. Brian hosts his own program, TNAM Daily, the New American Media Daily, and a bunch of other stuff. Brian, I've never seen President Trump give a speech filled with that much meat and that much content in 22 minutes or 21 minutes or whatever it was. Usually he weaves his way at least 45 with his mind. Now, if he only had a couple of things to say, it might be short, but he covered everything from the economy to the border to the ending of wars to the $1,776 for each of the soldiers to the energy. I mean, he covered every aspect of what is going on to the one big beautiful bill. He did all of this at breakneck speed. It's like he never veered away from the teleprompter. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know what to make of it either. What do you think?
Bob, I'm ready to peacefully and patriotically go make my voice heard.
I love it.
Peacefully and patriotically, mind you. I mean, that rapid fire. This is fantastic. This has been a counter to just all of this legacy media malaise. Everything is doom and gloom. Everything is cloudy and murky and grumpy. This is a Ronald Reagan-esque puff the chest up. We got this. We got this. We fixed that. That guy did that. He screwed that up. This is America. We got our birthday coming up. We're giving money back. Everything must go. I mean, it was like watching an infomercial.
And he was right. You know, I mean, I don't have a fact checking, ability in front of me, but I study it and I watch him. Everything he said was right. It's not like he made anything up. He didn't embellish. I mean, he may embellish things like I ended 8 wars in 10 months. He got some things that were like kind of lingering. There hasn't been any hostilities in a while, but he got them to come together and sign something saying it's officially done. Some of them were active wars that have been going on for a long time, and he got those things signed off on. But so he may embellish on certain things from time to time, but largely everything I heard was true and accurate. And to get through it all, I would think he would have wanted to marinate in that a little bit. We went from, and when he said, and I love this, by the way, people are so passionate about Hillary Jackson, who's a Moms for Liberty leader in Northeast Ohio, said, man, I need a cigarette and I don't even smoke after that. And who's ready to storm a freaking beach or something? Yes, I am. I'm getting Reagan vibes in here. I feel like, let's see, I'm so glad we recorded that speech so much, so fast. I'm going to have my husband memorize this. The part about going from the worst border in American history, which it absolutely was, for 4 years, averaging somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15,000 illegal border crossings, not per month, per day. And then telling everybody, Biden did, telling everybody that in order to stanch the flow of illegals here, we've got to pass this huge piece of legislation, I think $1 or $2 trillion, in order to get that down to about 5,000 a day. If we get it down to 5,000 a day, which means we're going to, if you do the math on that, it comes out to about 1.8 million illegal aliens coming in a day. And that would be considered the border under control. Okay. And we had to pass this massive piece of legislation to do it. And Congress, the Republicans, Trump told the Republican Congress, don't do it, because he wanted to run on the problem rather than solve the problem. So they didn't pass it. Trump comes in, and in a month, 2 months, 3 months, problem solved. Guess how many illegal border crossings there have been? How many people released into the United States in the last 3 months? 0.0. It didn't need any legislation, didn't need any money, just needed a commitment to actually do it. So the worst to the very best, because it's never been better than 0 crossing. I just hammering all those things, Brian. I loved it. But I really thought he'd want to, like I said, meander a little bit here. Let that sink in, everybody. Instead, he went from, we fixed this, it's perfect, and now look at the wages. Real wages compared to inflation. Look at where they were. And you saw that graph during the 4 years from 2021 up to 2025, this big spike in inflation and low wages, to now after 25, the start of 2025, to really low inflation over here and higher wages. So he didn't even like let people soak some of that in because he went so fast. And as much as I loved it, I almost wonder if he went too fast, if he should have really explained to the American people, don't let the media lie to you about affordability or any of these things. Here are the facts. I wonder if he went too fast.
Yeah, I'm all right with
I'm
it.
not picking
I mean,
nits
we're
with it,
old
by the way. I
fashioned.
just
Like,
want to let it soak into people's brains. We're a very attention span deficit people sometimes. I want to make sure they got it all.
yeah, well, I think he was crystal clear on that the point about the border. This was an absolute invasion, upwards of 40 million illegal alien invaders. The thing that he hammered on is like, yeah, I stopped it. The border's done. It's zero. Nobody's coming through unless you're showing your papers, please. No, I mean, every nightclub that I've worked at, every bar, I've been a bartender for a long time. Every bar, you got to check IDs at the front door. That doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you sane. So we're finally doing that. We put a bouncer back at the border. And he said 100% of the job growth now, it's not from people who just got here. The jobs are going to Americans who were born here. Finally working on that. I mean, everything that he pointed out was clarifying the misinformation and disinformation of the lying legacy media. Yeah, and I guess the hope would be that their fantastic social media team could chop some of this up into bite-sized
Oh, they
pieces.
will.
But it was just you could almost not even catch your breath.
Yeah, rapid response team, a social media account is probably just on fire right now. So is the White House and everything. And of course, they all had, copies of the speech before it was delivered. So they knew what was coming. So they're probably already prepping from what spot to send all of these short little video clips out there. And you're right. And hopefully, but the story though, it's kind of like with the start of my new show, which is every morning. And for those who are here tonight, I made this decision Brian actually suggested it very late in the day. I think I posted on Facebook and X like an hour before this thing started. Hey, let's have a little Trump watch party and do our thing here in the chat room. And so we're doing it. So for anybody who just joined in because they stumbled across it, awesome. Thank you. Know that I have a live show every day now that just started Monday from noon until 2. I'm sorry. When I get noon to 2, 10 until noon. It's 2 hours. 10 until noon. It's 2 hours every morning. And where was I going with that? Now I lost this is ADHD. I told you that's why I needed to slow down because now I forgot where I was actually going with that. But the point being that I wanted to make here is that it was about the people and about how many will see the clips on social media that the teams will cut up versus how many people can just flip on the TV at night and watch a primetime address. I was thinking about some of the seniors, some of the older folks who are less tech savvy, who can't even get my show on Rumble because they're not used to that sort of thing, but they're used to it on terrestrial radio, corporate radio, or just television. So, again, I loved his, what else too, Brian? Did that look like a 79-year-old man? Did that look like a man who is about to be an octogenarian? No. The energy there was that was more energy than I have. I mean, seriously. And I mean, I'm way younger than him, but he is just so freaking almost, what's the word I'm looking for? What was Arnold? What was the Terminator? A cyborg. He's cyborg. He's like metallic and machine underneath with skin over top. Because there's no way a human body at that age should have that much energy and that much vigor.
What was the number that we settled on for the speed? Did we 32
21?
minutes?
No, 21, 22 minutes. He got done at 9:23, and I think he started at about 9:01, 9:02.
Okay, yeah, all right. So roughly 20 minutes. I mean. What was it? Maybe a 45-minute speech that he compacted into 20 minutes. Totally. It's like any good comedian. I've been trying to work on that this year, finally getting on stage. And the difference between doing radio shows and trying to do stand-up, it's like you got to be tight 4 minutes. You get 4 minutes. You got to have it all together. This was all together. This was compacted like a trash compactor tight. But yeah, it was. What I'm really interested in seeing is the interest rates. He's saying really soon, this Fed Reserve, we're going to get our guy in, and he's got low rates. And it's like, oh my God, you remember how great the interest rates were just a few years ago? I don't understand why we're paying these exorbitant rates and getting squeezed like that. If he could just drop us back to those COVID rate levels and people could finally have home mobility again. So many people are absolutely stuck in concrete shoes now because Well, I got a good rate during COVID. I can't go anywhere now. Like I'd be paying way too. There are so many things that are about to kick in 2026. And this was the pep talk that we needed. We've been getting bludgeoned by the liars and the legacy media for pretty much the whole year long.
When the actual big beautiful bill tenets, all all of the stuff included in it kick in. He talked about the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime and all the rest. When those things kick in, the economy is going to kick into overdrive, and then too late Powell is going to have no choice but to actually lower those rates. Hey, Brian, I want to get a couple of spots on the chat here. Because Yo Jimbo said something really, really important here. And where did it go? Yo Jimbo said, we needed something. Yeah, next speech needs to blast the violent leftism welcomed by the Dems. That's the one thing he didn't do, really. And it seems like because he didn't want to throw stones so much today. He didn't want to attack the Democrats. That wasn't the agenda here. It was more of a look what good we've done rather than how bad they are. But it is true. The violence in this country is so out of control, pushed, promoted, defended, allowed, encouraged by the left. And I'm talking about everything from being pissed off that he has put National Guard troops and federal assets and agents in cities where there's high violence and high violent crime. They're mad about that because they want their violent crime because that helps them. Blowing up narco boats. They want more drugs in this country. I mean, they literally want to take this country apart. They loved the fact that Biden opened the borders, red carpeted, used forklifts to lift the razor wire to let more of them in because it was creating more chaos. The more chaos there is, the more the people will scream for an end to the chaos. What does that mean? It means more government. Government, handle it, take care of it, take control. Big government is the opposite. It's the enemy of the constitutional foundation of this country. And so the one thing I really wish, and I don't want to say wish, because I don't want to condemn anything he did here. It was amazing. He packed 25 or 45 minutes, as you said, into 21 minutes. But another time, maybe the next Oval Office address, let's talk about the violence. Let's talk about who's really committing it and who's welcoming it and who's protecting it and who's trying to stop it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was starting to think here. Mike Ohio in the comments, he says, I love that he stayed positive. But you know what? Yeah. If Trump gets in and gets out, Daddy Trump, can we get one of these once a week? Like if you keep it moving and you're just gonna rapid fire this stuff, this would be the new fireside chat. This would be must-watch TV. Every Wednesday at 9:00, we're just gonna hammer. We're just gonna go to work on it. The attention span of a meandering, the wide weave, hour and a half long. Nah, that's. But if he did this once a month or something like that and kept hammering away at the basics, yeah. How about the next one? Why doesn't he talk about the violence? Why doesn't he talk about how schools are manipulating and brainwashing the kids to grow up and to be angry college kids that go out into the workplace and it turns the country miserable. Is what it is. So this one was positive, and this one is, hey, I'm forward thinking. We're fixing 100 broken things that they left for me. How about the next time? Go hammer some stuff. I loved the speed of this. I actually loved it.
I do too, and like I said, mainly because it energized me. It got, like everybody said, I'm going to storm a beach right now. Like, let's freaking go. It was like it was so powerful and fiery, and yes, positive. And so I loved everything about it too. Like I said, provided people could comprehend it and soak in with all of the win. We got to win on the border. We got to win on energy. We got to win on gas prices. We got to win on wages. We got to win on growth. We got to win. We got to win in tariff revenue. We got $1,776 going to every soldier in the military right now.
Bob, you can see
1.5 million military service members receiving a Christmas bonus from Trump by way of the tariff revenue of $1,776 each. All of these win things from President Trump. And aside from the actual content of it, Brian, the fact that he's doing this at all at the same, if you look at in the last 11 months since Trump took office, how many press conferences he has held, how many media press gaggles he has held. And I'm talking about the informal ones and the formal ones. How many Oval Office, sit downs where he's got, press in there invited to talk to Marco Rubio and talk to Pam Bondi and so forth. Every president likes to come into office saying, I'm going to be the most transparent president, and this is going to be the most transparent administration ever. And they just freaking close the doors to everything. Biden, we didn't see for months at a time, in part because he was, half dead. Skeletor was like, had to be thawed out every few days just to come out and go lay on the beach. But Trump is in front of these cameras every freaking day. There's no secrets. There's no cloak behind which things are being done. There's no back rooms. And to come out there, I'm bringing this up because of what you just said. I'd love for him to do this once a month. And you know what? And you know what? If somebody gives him the suggestion, he'll probably say, done. We'll do it once a month.
We'll
do
20 minutes.
Second or third, what is today? Wednesday, second or third Wednesday of every month. We'll do a national address, and I'll give everybody the lay of the land. I love that.
Fireside chat, modern era. And he's right, though. We got the World Cup coming up. We have the Olympics. And isn't he going to do a nationwide 250th birthday party thing? It's going to be the American Games or something. And there's going to be feats of strength. And it's going to be like Festivus rolled in with the Olympics. It's going to be Trumpstivus. I don't know. I got 20 minutes for this once a month. Absolutely. More of this, please. This was great. This is I'm just kind of wondering what comes next. I really am. I'm waiting for chapter 2.
Yeah, I am too. And I'm just checking out the chat here one more time before we wrap this up. Again, this is just a short. I thought we'd be going for an hour or two, honestly, because I thought he would.
Long winter's nap, yeah.
I thought he would do the weave and he would talk for 45, 55 minutes, and then we'd spend maybe a half an hour after, laying it out and doing some analysis. But he did it in 22 minutes, and now here we are 20 minutes after that. And, people are like, all right, good. I consumed it and I'm ready to go.
It was sort of like Rocky when he just kept absorbing the body blows round after round after round after round. And I was exhausted in a good way. I was too. And like I said, I haven't caught my breath yet. And he's got relentless energy, and he was doing all of the work. All I was doing is listening, but I got tired. Doing it. But you know what? You mentioned it about, is he an octogenarian and like this?
About to be, yeah.
Can you believe that look, J.D. Vance, when he becomes president in 2028, he's going to have a real hard time keeping up with the pace of what Trump has done this first year. And can you believe a couple of weeks ago, they're like, oh, Trump is sick. He's slowing down and this and that. You're like, I've never seen anybody work this hard, this fast, this long, this aggressively, this nonstop, this relentlessly against a mountain of obstructionism. I've never seen anybody put this much energy into it. He works it because he loves it. And you can tell he cares.
I'm not a doctor, obviously, and but I've heard of it. There are some people, it was like this. I used to work for the Raiders. John Gruden was one of these guys. John Gruden used to sleep, maybe he still does, I don't know. But when he was coaching the Raiders, 4 hours a night. He was an absolute machine. His body and his mind were in tune to the point where he would go to sleep at maybe 2 and get up at 6, or maybe 1 and 5 or whatever. We talked about it. I interviewed him on the John Gruden show for 2 years. Trump's like that. Trump is one of those people where their bodies don't require the requisite 8 hours of rest that is, recommended by virtually all physicians everywhere. Some bodies just don't need it. Some minds just don't need it. That's his. That's why he'll be up late doing these kinds of things and having late night sessions and meetings. And then suddenly, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll click on Truth Social and I'll see posts from Donald Trump at 5 a.m. It's like, wait a minute, dude, you just you just got off of Air Force One, coming back from a trip, at 12:30, and you're up at 5 typing on Truth Social. He just doesn't need rest. And it's not like he's spending all of that time that he doesn't need to sleep golfing. He golfs so infrequently compared to like what Obama did, but he puts in, it seems like he puts in 16, 17-hour days, all devoted to the cause. And, again, I don't know what more you can really ask from our president.
Yeah, they used to call those Twitter storms when that would happen. Now I call them X flares. Twitter storms or X flares, and yeah, it's just always going. And the lies and the delusions of what the spin has been from the lying legacy media, from the Democrat deep state, the the demonic entity. You know, when you get into the women and men and women's sports and transgender for everyone, I mean, it's been a nonstop barrage from academia, from the Democrat politicians, from the lying legacy media. It's just been hitting on all fronts, and it's really beaten this country down. You could probably say the 8 years of Obama, the 4 years of Trump, because we all know what collusion efforts they were running for those 4 years in the background, plus the 4 years of Biden. We're on 16 years of this Obama doctrine of just nonstop, incessant, beating us down, really just trying to take our spirit, flood the country with newcomers, taking the jobs away. They took our jobs. This is the exact opposite. Very Reagan-esque tonight, very positive, very setting the record straight. I am still catching my breath, but I'm here for it.
Hey, real quick, Brian, before we sign off on this one tonight, because we're going to go live tomorrow morning at 10. We got somebody in the chat room. We got our first obstructionist troll here. Milo 1994 says the delusion is hilarious. Mike Ohio says, can't wait to watch Scott Jennings on CNN tomorrow. Oh my God, yeah. He's going to just have a field day with these idiots. Milo says 2026 blue wave, y'all. And quote, North Koreans would blush at the glazing Trump gets, which is very, very interesting because I know what he's saying. He's saying North Koreans are required to worship Kim Jong-un. He's suggesting that this is something here too. Hillary, phenomenal response. Oh, Milo, CVS should still be open for your preparation H. He's obviously butthurt. And then Milo comes back with, Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president, mental illness is my diagnosis. Mental illness. He wants to put mental illness on us. Honestly, his party with his blue wave thinks that men can have babies and we're the ones who are mentally ill. I mean, in all seriousness, these people are loons. I'm glad to see them come out from time to time. I really am. I asked him what delusion, and he hasn't responded to that in the chat yet. But I don't know. Give me 30 seconds to wrap it up here, Brian.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good point that you made there. A thinking person, a rational person, just Joe Schmo, middle America person. You have a choice between the Democrat lunacy and fixing some of this stuff, coming up with some new ideas. And the choice is clear. We are 11 months away from midterms. I can't, like, we just finished one of these elections and we're coming right back to it again. But yeah, I heard a quote today. The most important election. You always hear, oh, it's the most important election of my lifetime. Well, you know what? The most important election is the next one. And the one after that is going to be the most important because, like you said, your buddy Larry Elder and my buddy as well, we have a nation to save. You know, we got a country to save. Like it's go time. Well, and here's the thing. I needed that shot in the arm. I needed the adrenaline tonight. It's been a lot of negativity coming in from the usual sources, the usual suspects. I liked the dose of positivity, and I'm excited for 2026 now.
Yeah, I could not agree more. You know, the thing I'll say is each election is indeed, without question, the most important one. You're spot on about that. And what I tell people is, you know, when we won in 2024, as huge of a victory as that was, it wasn't the championship. We didn't win the championship because Trump won. In what is a never-ending championship fight. I mean, we won that round, and now the 2026 midterms is the next round. We have to win that round. Some are bigger than others. You know, the Democrats won a round, you know, in the, you know, these off-year elections. A bunch of blue places voted for blue candidates. Ooh, but the big round, like the win, Trump beating Kamala Harris was, if you're a fight fan, you understand, a 2-point round. You know, most fights are scored 10-9. Whoever won the round gets 10, the other guy gets 9. If there's a knockdown, it's a 10-8 round. It's a 2-point round. There was a knockdown in November of last year. It was a big round, but it did not settle the championship. And that's why each round that follows is the biggest election of our lifetimes. If we lose in November of 26, November of 24 might as well have not happened, because we're not going to get the 4-year agenda that he ran on. For 2 years, we're going to have nothing but investigations and impeachments. So the next round is the biggest round, and it's in a never-ending championship fight, and that's what we're all here for.
And we're allowed to be excited with it. We're allowed to be excited for it.
I'm right. Great stuff by the president tonight. Great stuff by the chatters. Thanks for stopping by again. This was a very late, last-minute idea to have this the live stream. I ask you to follow the channel, like, subscribe to the channel, and follow the channel so you can find out when we're going to do our next live show, which will be in the morning at 10 o'clock. And when we'll do surprise shows like this, and when we'll do town hall meetings with one another, and when we do replays of special events or interviews during one of our shows. So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Strictly Speaking, Unfiltered with Bob France. Thank you so very much for being a part of it tonight. And we'll switch that around as I say goodnight to my friend Brian there. Yeah, there we go. That's me. But thanks for being a part of this tonight. As I like to say in my emails, as I sign them off my signature line, be well, be safe, and stay free. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Bye, everybody. Maybe we'll vibe a little bit before I shut it off. Can't dance even.